Tour. Hello and welcome everyone to today's coding challenge. And today we are going to discuss a question on lead code. The question number is 590, an array tree post order traversal. In this question we have given that the root of an array tree, and we have to return the post order traversal of its node values. An array tree input serialization is represented in their value order traversal. Each group of children is separated by the null values. Let us look at the example number 1. We have given that 1 has 3 children, 3, 2, 4, and this 3 has 2 children, 5 and 6. And whenever there is a null occurred in the input serialization, that means the current level is completed and we have to move on the next levels then. So what will be the post order traversal of this example number 1? 5, 6, 3, 2, 4 and then 1. And by the definition of post order we also know that before every root gets evaluated, its left and right subtrees get evaluated and then the root gets evaluated. So as we can see that an array has no left or right subtree by the definition of a tree, so we have to evaluated all its children's first and then the node gets evaluated. So when we try to evaluate this one, before doing anything on this one we have to do that same part on 3 to 4, and when we try to evaluate this 3 we have to first evaluate 5 and 6, and when we are on 5 there are no childrens for this 5 left, so we have to evaluate this 5 and then move to its siblings, that means to this 6, and we can see that there are no children for this 6 as well, so put that 6 inside our answer and moves to its parents because there are no more siblings left for this 5 and 6, and then we came back on this 3 and gets evaluated this 3 or marked this or put inside this 3 into our answer and then move to its siblings, that means this 2, and for this 2 we have to check if it has some childrens or not, and as we can see that there are no childrens for this 2, so evaluate this 2 and moves to its siblings, that means this 4, and moving on this 4 we will see that if it has some childrens or not, and as we can see that there are no childrens for this 4, so we have to put that inside our answer, and finally our original root gets evaluated and we have to put that inside our answer, and finally we have to return the output as 5 6 3 2 4 1. So let us first look at the visualization for this and then code. We have example number 1. This one is basically the root and it has some children's 3 2 4 and 5 and 6, and this is the code for this problem, and according to this code what we have to check, basically our node root is pointing to this node first, we have to check if the root is null or not. Basically for a empty node, like if it has a null ptr that comes on this root pointer, then what we have to do, we have to do nothing, we have to return just an empty array in that case. So if the root given to us is empty or null, just return a empty array, and if it has some values or if it has some childrens, then do some dfs or some function on that, perform some operations on that, and then return our answer. And what will be the that functions, this dfs function decides those. We have node, root and answer passed in this DFS by the reference. So let us suppose for very first time this DFS gets called. The root is pointing to this one. So we will check first that the root is empty or not, or the root is null PTR or not. And as we can see that 1 is not a null value, so move to the next lines of the code for every children of this root, and the every children of this root will be 3, 2 and 4. For the very first time the DFS will call for this 3. Immediately when the root pointer comes on this 3, this 3 gets called DFS for its children's. So for the very first time the root is 1 and its children's will be 3, 2 and 4. And whenever the pointer comes on this 3, the DFS again called itself. With this time the root will be this 3 and answer is still what was the answer before. So when for the second call the root will be this 3 and its children's will be 5 and 6. So we will check for this 3 that if the root is empty or not, and as we can see that the root is not empty. Basically this 3 is not empty, so we have to move on its children's first. And when we try to move on its children's, that this 5 comes before this 6, and whenever this 5 comes it immediately called DFS for 5. And this time the root is 5, so the root is pointing to this node. We will first check that whether the root is empty or not, and we can see that the root is not empty, it has some value. So we will now try to move on its children's first, and moving on the children's of this 5, we see that there are no children's for this 5. We will check that if the root is empty or not, and this is true, so return for every children of 5. So let us suppose the pointer moves to the children or an imaginary children of this 5, so that will be the a null PTR. So do not do anything and just return to the this 5. So this for loop will now evaluate every children of 5, and when it gets back, just push our root dot value inside our answer. So our answer is updated from empty to 5. And for this call stack we have nothing left. We evaluate every line of this DFS, and what we have to now to return. So we have to return from this 5 to its siblings, and before returning we have to push our 5 inside our answer. So this call stack now gets vanished. So basically let us first erase this, and that for loop will now check the other children's of this 3. 5 gets evaluated, so let us mark it as evaluated like this. Checking on the other siblings, we have this 6, so this time a DFS function for this 6 will be called, and whenever the DFS function for this 6 gets called, it checks that whether the given root is empty or not. And this time the root is not empty because 6 is not empty, so it try to move on every children of this 6, and as we can see that there are no children for this 6. So this for loop gets completed and we have to push that 6 inside our answer. So let us push inside our answer the value of current node, that is 6, and then return to the parent call. This 6 gets evaluated and we have to now erase this 6 from the call stack. All the childrens of this 3 gets evaluated. So now what will be the left part for this 3? We have to push the current root value inside our answer, and this time the current root value is this 3. So push that inside our answer, and there are no more lines left for this call stack, so we have to return. So this 3 gets evaluated, we have to return to its parent call, erase this 3. What will be left now? This the call for it 2 and call for this 4. So a DFS call for this 2 gets evaluated now, and now it will check that whether the root is empty or not, and we can see that the root is not empty. We have a value and it has a integer value 2. We have a node, it has integer value 2. So it tries to extract every child of this 2, and we can see that there are no childs left for this 2. So this for loop gets over and this line gets executed. We have to push the current node value inside our answer. So the current node is basically this 2. So let us push that inside our answer. This is now there are no more lines left in that call stack to execute. So we have to now return to the parent call. So let us erase this 2, mark this true as evaluated, and move to this 4. This time the DFS for this 4 gets called. So this 4 is basically the root this time, and now it will check that this current node is empty or not, or null or not. No, it is not null, it has some integer value inside it. So we will try to extract every children of this 4, and we can see that there are no childrens of this 4. So this for loop gets over and we have to push this 4 inside our answer. So push inside our answer, and now we have nothing left in the function, so just return to the parent call. So this 4 gets vanished. We have to remove it from the call stack, and now this 1 is left. For 1, every children of 1 gets evaluated, so the for loop gets over for this 1, and the only line is the answer dot pushback of the current node value, and the current node value is 1, so we have to push that inside our answer. So our final answer will look like this, and we have nothing left in our DFS function. So this 1 gets vanished from our call stack. So let us first erase this, mark this 3 as 1 as evaluated, and there are no more nodes left for us in this DFS calls to get evaluated. So this DFS is now over and we have to finally return our answer to the caller, and our final answer for this example number 1 will be 563241. Now let us code this and check that whether the explanation of this code is right or not, whether this code works or not. Let us first initialize a vector named as answer, and then check that whether the given root is null or not. If it is null, we have to do nothing, just return from that point. with an empty array, and if it has some values inside it, do a DFS on the an array and finally return our answer. Now what will this DFS function do? As we can see in our explanation before, that this DFS will try to extract every child of our root before evaluating the root value. So first check that if root is empty or not. If it is empty, just return from that point, and if it is not empty, try to extract every child first for the root, and call the DFS function for every child. And when all the child gets evaluated for every node, we have to push the node values inside our answer, and then we have to return. Let us run this and check if it is running fine or not. It is running fine, so let us submit this and check if it does passes all the test cases or not. It does passes all the test cases, and it also beats around 50% in runtime. So thank you so much guys, and please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you get some valuable concepts or some valuable information from this channel. Thank you so much guys.